You
We are now live on YouTube, starting us up on Rumble. Good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is about what happened today throughout the annals of recorded history. Join us as we delve into yesteryear, not only for interesting, important happenings, but to possibly even answer questions you don't know you have. I am Xander.
King's Refuge.
And you, viewer, are you? Thank you so much for joining. Today is Tears' Day, aka Tuesday, August 27th, 2024. So, good Sir King, would you care to start us off today in 479 BC? Actually, we have two.
All right. Okay. 479 BC, Greco-Persian Wars, Battle of Mycale, won by Greek forces over Persian naval forces on Ion coast. Double the victory with that at Plataea ends Persian invasion.
Those Persians constantly invading? You know? Well. But you got another one, the same exact event. This is interesting.
BC Greco-Persian Wars, Battle of Plataea, Persian forces led by Mardonius, routed by Greek army under the Pausanias, together with Greek success at Battle of Mycale, halts Persian invasion of Greece.
And this is all happening because I believe this happened last Wednesday or last Thursday. So last week we did not do a show, but I did do some research and writing, and it was the anniversary of the believed time of the Battle of Thermopylae. You know, the famed 300. You know, so this is after Leonidas and his 300 with the 10,000 other troops and everything fell, of course. Because they found that that shepherd's path and they went around and killed them. So then they got into Greece proper, and then now we have these battles. But Leonidas bought Greece time, and if it wasn't for him, there probably wouldn't even be the concept of democracy today. That's kind of wild. 663. What do we have?
663 Battle of Beikang, Tang Chinese and Silla-Korean forces defeat Korean Baichi forces and their Yamato Japanese allies on the Guam River in Korea. Last Japanese invasion of Korea for 900 years.
Wow. So those Koreans taught those Japanese a lesson, that almost lasted an entire century. That's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. 1232, here we have the Japanese legal code Goseibai Shikimoku, or the Formulary of Adjudications, was promulgated by Regent Hojo Yasuhogi. Okay? I'm going to look this up here. Japanese legal code Goseibai Shikimoku. Yeah, what did that entail? So let's take a look at this. It was a legal code of this in Japan, promulgated yada yada yada. Before enacting this Goseibai thing, the Kamakura shogunate conducted trials without formal laws. After the Jokyo War, an increasing number of land disputes between its vassals, aristocrats, and peasants made fair trials indispensable. Thereafter, Hojo Yasutoki compiled the outline with 51 article headings and 31 hyojoshu, or counselors, completed it. Supplementary articles to the Goseibai Shimiku, called Tushiga, were issued afterwards. The Muromachi shogunate also adopted the Goseibai Shimiko as the basic law. The Goseibai Shikimoku was largely repealed during the Edo period, though parts of it stayed in use until 1868, but it was widely used as a textbook for writing in temple schools. That's interesting. Huh. So, some Japanese law history for you guys. Moving on up to 1601, Oliver van Noort completed first Dutch circumnavigation of the globe, returning home after 2 years, but with little success at trading or taking Spanish possessions. Alright. So they weren't just going around the planet, for the heck of it. They were trying to initiate conflict and take things and all that stuff. So that's not too cash money right there. 1665, Ye Bear and Ye Cub is the first play performed in North America in Accomack, Virginia. Okay, so I don't need to look it up. It's the first play.
Iberica.
Yeah, that's interesting. And then 1689, the Treaty of Nerschink was signed by Russia and the Qing Empire. Wow, that is crazy. Russia and the Qing Empire. You know, like one of the last empires of China. But let's see, it was the first treaty between the Tsardom of Russia and the Qing dynasty of China. After the defeat of Russia by King China at the siege of Albazine in 1686. So 3 years prior to this article. The Russians gave up the area north of the Amur River as far as the stationary... sorry, I'm sneezing. The Stanovoy Range, and kept the area between the Argon River and Lake Baikal. The border along the Argon River and Stanovoy Range lasted until the Amur annexation via the Treaty of Aigan in 1858 and the Convention of Peking in 1860. It opened markets for Russian goods in China and gave Russians access to Chinese supplies and luxuries. So that's really interesting. So they lost the war, the battle or whatever, but they were then able, you know, for commerce and trade and all that stuff. That is cool. What else do we have here in 1715?
Earl of Mar raises the Jacobite standard at Bramer, Aberdeenshire, starting the Jacobite uprising in Scotland.
No, and I believe that was uprising from I forgot the guy's name, but the pretender to the English throne. We've talked about him a couple of times, but I believe he was behind the Jacobite uprising or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, 1776, one of the greatest years in all history.
Yeah. 1776, British defeat Americans at the Battle of Long Island.
Oh, I wonder if they had some iced tea. Which I can never, after my 21st birthday in Vegas, I can never have another Long Island iced tea. Like, I drank enough to kill 2 men in a midget that weekend. I should not be around, but I am. No.
I'm like that with vodka. But I don't really drink anymore, period, but vodka is my... Ugh. Drink it too much as a kid.
Yeah, and like everybody else, mostly, I have a tequila story that I refer to as the incident, or also the night of 1,000 handshakes. What do we have here in 1782?
Battle of the Combahee River near Beaufort, South Carolina. American abolitionist John Lawrence is killed, leading the charge.
Hero. John Lawrence is a hero. You know, like, unfortunately he had to die, you know, in the line of duty, but, you know, he was leading. That's what a real leader does. They lead the charge, you know. They don't just mingle with the soldiers, they lead them. And he unfortunately paid the highest price one can pay, but he will forever be immortalized in history. You know, we're talking about him right now, hundreds of years later. 1783, you raise an eyebrow for me.
Yeah, 1783, first hydrogen balloon flight, unmanned, reaches an altitude of 900 meters.
Wow. You know, so, like, before we actually sent man into the air, you know, like, very much like the whole thing about sending people into space and such, we had to send test vehicles and all that whatnot.
Yeah.
By the way, I really like your shirt. A little chibi Deadpool there.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite shirts.
It looks nice. 1789 here, we have the French National Assembly issued the Declaration of Rights of Man and Citizen. We spoke about that yesterday. 1798, the Battle of Castlebar, Ireland. French army and Irish rebels rout a larger British force. Yes, the power of the people, the Irish rebels. You know, as assisted with France, you know, as we were assisted with. But that's interesting. After France helped us with our revolution, they went and helped the Irish. That's cool. That is really cool. Man, people have got to stop shitting on France so much. They were, you know, if it wasn't for France, Western civilization probably wouldn't even exist anymore today. 1799, British invasion army landed in North Holland. They're invading Holland now, so... Yeah.
Freaking British.
Yeah.
Gotta have everything.
Yep. Well, as the joke goes, back in the day, the United Kingdom, their empire spanned 1/3 of the globe, and now the third world is now spanning them.
Yeah.
What do we have in 1802?
1802, West Indy Quay officially opens London's first purpose-built dock. Purpose? What? Okay.
Yeah, purpose.
With the largest brick deck building in the world.
Interesting. So, yeah, obviously we know about what docks are and everything, but this was the first dock built specifically for an intended purpose. So it wasn't just a dock and you can dock a ship. This was when, things were really becoming different. Like back in the day of like wooden ships and everything, you couldn't really tell the difference between, a galley or like a galleon. Well, you could tell the difference, but you could very much tell the difference between a warship and a transport ship in today's world. And those two, things need vastly different accommodations, with their docks. So this is when specific docking, for various ships was first started, it sounds like. But let me see if I have a picture of this. The largest brick building. Oh, this one. Okay. So anyone who lives out, and this was in London, right? Yeah, London. So anyone who knows of this building here, this large brick building along the ocean front, this was at the time the largest brick building in the world. That's pretty cool. Well, what else do we got here?
1789?
No, it's 1816.
Oh, shit.
You were at 1802. How do you go back?
I don't know. I'm always roaming around here. I don't know if my mouse is...
You're a wanderer.
1816. Lord Exmouth bombards Algiers, a refuge for Barbary pirates.
Do what you want because a pirate is free. You are a pirate. I don't know. But yeah, no, they were bombarding, trying to get the pirates out of there and everything. So, what else do we have? I have to do some...
1828. Uruguay gains independence during Brazil-Argentina peace talks.
Nice.
All right.
I'm all for independence.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 1832, Black Hawk, leader of Sayuk Indians, gave himself up. Huh. I wonder if that's why we have the Black Hawk helicopters these days. I mean, we have the Apache helicopters named after an entire people,
Yeah.
And we have, the term Geronimo, coined by, Geronimo, who, according to pop culture or something, that's what he said when he jumped off or something. I don't know. Anyway, 1859, first successful oil well drilled near Titusville, Pennsylvania by Edwin Drake. Wow. That's pretty cool. Let me look up that article here really quick just to see what it looked like. Okay. So yeah, it was they just built an entire structure around it. And yeah. And, nowadays, we see oil rigs and all that stuff, they're all bare bones, the metal skeletons and everything, but back then, they built it like an actual structure. That's really cool. 1869, the first international boat race occurred on the River Thames, in which Oxford defeated Harvard. Okay. 1881, a hurricane hit Florida and the Carolinas, causing about 700 deaths. Yikes. 1883, I want you to take this because this one is massive.
1883, Krakatoa volcano located west of Java in Indonesia erupts with a force of 200 megatons of TNT, killing approximately 40,000 people.
200 megatons, that's that's 4 times as big as the Tsar Bomba.
Yeah.
Twice as big as what it was intended for. So I guess that type of an explosion would not rip a hole in the atmosphere, or though maybe because it was nuclear based. Because I was talking about this, I don't know if I was on camera or not, But like the Tsar bomb, as we know, like the largest man-made explosion in history at 50 megatons, it was designed to handle a yield of 100 megatons, but they didn't go that route with their test because they believed that it would rip a hole in the atmosphere, and probably because of the nuclear base. So, but something really crazy about Krakatoa. Let's see if I can actually find the image, but just to show like how big the explosion actually was. So, basically, right here. So this is the image that I usually go to, and it's rather small. So I'm gonna try to see if I can find a bigger version of it. No, I can't. But basically, it was a chain of 3 islands, each volcanic. I'm not sure if you're watching my stream or not, but there was Rakata, Danan, and this. And then after the explosion, look at that. Like, it lost, like, what is that, 90% of its landmass? Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah. And then now we have Anak Krakatoa, which is child of Krakatoa. It's building back up, as of 1927 and on. So that's scary, and with what's going on with Mount St. Helens, like it's building back up. We all remember that from, what was it, 87 or 83?
Well, I don't know.
When was Mount St. Helens? 1980. Okay. Oh. What do we got here in 1892?
1892, New York City's Metropolitan Opera House opened in 1883. Catches fire. Takes 2 years to restore.
Wow, I mean, like, I've heard the term burn down the house, but that's ridiculous. 1894 here, Congress passed the Wilson-Gorman Tariff Act, which included a graduated income tax later struck down by the Supreme Court. Graduated income tax, I don't know what that is, but I don't like the sound of it. I don't like taxes in any way. Most everybody doesn't like taxes, and I'm very happy that the Supreme Court struck this down. But I think we will be talking about some kind of tax later on in the show. 1896, Britain defeated Zanzibar in a 38-minute war, declared at 9:02 a.m. and ended at 9:40 a.m. This is the shortest recorded war in history.
Yeah.
So, a 38-minute war. So it was even shorter than what is it, Grenada, or something? Like, what was that short war we had? Was it Grenada? I think it was Grenada.
I think so.
Yeah. 1900.
1900, Battle of Bergendal. General Buller defeats the Boer under General Louis Botha.
I wonder if he was related to P.W. Botha. Because we all know about P.W. Botha.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it would make sense, because like, Churchill, Winston Churchill, the Churchill family name had been in British politics for hundreds of years already, so he was already like part of the bourgeois and all that stuff. So, with Botha, that name being dropped, oh, here we go, descendants of Ferdinand Appel, Louis Botha, Peter William P.W. Botha. So yes, he is.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, wow. He could be his grandson, because Louis Botha, this guy, General Louis Botha, lived from 1862 to 1919. P.W. Botha was 1916 to 2006. So, P.W. Botha was 3 years old when Louis Botha died. Wow. That is crazy. In his entire life, yeah, he was an apartheid guy. So, what else do we got here? We have another 1900.
Gabriel Faur's Grand Canata from the Mirrors in Arenis, Jersey, France. The performance involved almost 800 singers and musicians, including 2 wind bands and 15 harps, an audience of 10,000.
You know,
That's
and
crazy.
yeah, 10,000 a day doesn't seem like anything, but back then it was probably like, a record or like approaching one. But why would you need two wind bands? Isn't that like redundant? Like, unless you
I
have
don't know.
like,
Is it? I don't know. Is the 800 singers redundant?
you know, like you got a point there. Like, yeah, like, how can you appreciate 800 singers? That sounds ridiculous. Literally. Like, that sounds ridiculous. Ridiculous, ridiculous. Time to bite the day. Anyway, what else do we have in 1908?
So did they each sing a word of the song and just go like that?
Oh, popcorn singing? That sounds awesome. Dude, we gotta set something up like that where like we have like an entire song, but just like like 500 singers and each of them only sings like one word. So like you know, Conti Partido. I don't know. 1908, Calgary City Rugby Football Club reorganized as the Tigers. All right. 1 year later, 1909, future Baseball Hall of Fame pitcher Jack Chesborough's final game for New York Islanders is a 17-6 loss to the Tigers at Bennett Park, Detroit. Oh wow! So it was the same guys right here, the Tigers. I didn't even notice this when I was researching writing last night. So they reorganized their name as the Tigers, and then they went on to win 17-6, versus the Highlanders. 1910, using 137,000 Candlepower arc lights, two amateur baseball teams played a night game at White Sox Park. Candlepower, like this was before, like the invention, or like the categorization of the watt, like before we actually had words for the power output of electricity, we had to use what we had before, candle power. So can you imagine like going around saying, "Oh, my phone has a 7.3 billion candle power, flashlight." Like,
is there a picture?
Let me look. 137,000 candle power arc lights. Let's see here.
Oh, I wonder what that would look like.
1910.
How do you do that?
Oh wow.
Oh,
What do you mean? How do you do that?
like light up a field with candles.
No. They don't fill it with candles. It's the light output of the electric light is equivalent to 137 candles.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like before we came up with the watt and all these all these terms involving electricity and luminosity. Before they had to use what they knew before. So, the light output of this light has the equivalent of the light output of 137,000 candles.
Okay.
Yeah. But can you imagine, like, going around, this is 200,000 candle power. Like they had to invent an entire new term to reverse the Dragon Ball Z-ish of the numbers just going up and up and up and up.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Power levels are too damn high.
It's over 9,000. What 9,000? That's impossible. What else do we have here in 1910?
Using Washington Senator Red Killer sacrifices a record 4 times against Detroit.
Yikes.
I
mean, what is this guy, an Aztec? Why is he sacrificing so much?
Right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 1913. Lieutenant Pyotr Nesterov of Imperial Russian Air Service performs a loop in a monoplane at Kiev. First aerobatic maneuver in an airplane.
Now, wasn't the loon talking about this? Yeah, wasn't the loon talking about this yesterday? About like we had a whole conversation about inside loop and outside loop, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So this is that is weird. How he brought that up, and then the next day we're talking about when it happened. That is weird.
No.
Like. 1913 as well, Swedish engineer Gideon Soundback of Hoboken applied to patent an all-purpose zipper. Huh. 1916, Romania declared war on Austria-Hungary. I see your dog wants to be part of the show too. Let her on.
Yes, she wants attention. Come
Yeah.
up here.
Well, I mean, like, you know, she's online being broadcasted to the world. She has all the attention she can possibly not even understand. You know?
Yeah.
1917, Indians set club record by stealing 8 bases in a game. Whoa. That's a lot of bases. I wonder if they gave them back.
Aha.
And we have 3 1918s just for you.
1918. Christy Mathewson resigns as Cincinnati Reds manager to accept a commission as a captain in chemical warfare branch of U.S. Army.
That is one hell of a weird, you know. What in the name of the Sims is happening with this? Like, you know, you stop being a sports manager, you go on to become the you know, the head of a chemical weapons branch for a military service. What the fuck?
That what? There's so much context missing to this. It's astounding.
I'm gonna do a surface level scratch of this entire article here. Okay, that's just on the state. Facebook, for whatever reason, popped up. Twitter. Okay, here we go. We have a thing here about this guy, if it loads. Christopher Christy Mathewson. Alright. Okay, so this gives up his entire biography. Huh. So he was in the World Series. Oh, the Army's draft during World War I interrupted the lives of many U.S. citizens. These drafts extended to professional baseball players. You know, yada yada. We've heard about that.
So he went to the war.
Yeah. But what,
Okay.
what year was this? 1918. Okay, so it was at the very end of World War I. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's when chemical warfare was a real, you know, really got into it, and then we had to. Okay, we filled up some of the context. Oh. But that's still wild. What else do we have?
Dr. Joseph L. Johnson named as U.S. Minister to Liberia.
You know, is that Johnson from Johnson & Johnson? I mean...
Is it?
I don't know. Like, this is going to require, you know, some more in-depth research, I presume. Joseph L. Johnson. Okay. Let's see here. Early life, yada, yada, yada. I'm just scanning this for... Okay, so he was in diplomat... Treaty of Versailles, the League of Nations are being mentioned in here. Later life, FDR. It's not saying anything about Johnson & Johnson, so I'm not sure if they're connected, but if anybody wants to go down a potential rabbit hole, let us know in the comments what you find. Yay or nay. No. Uno Mas, 1918. Here we go.
Oh boy. Spanish flu arrives in Boston, beginning the second wave of the deadliest wave in the U.S.
Yeah, that was worded weird, and yesterday I was trying to figure out how to write that better, but, you know. But where did it arrive in again?
Boston.
Thank you. You gotta say it right, man. You know? 1921, J.E. Claird of Acme Packing Company of Green Bay was granted an NFL franchise, and this is the start of the Packers.
Oy.
Yeah, Alice's favorite team. 1926, second Women's World Games track and field competition for women was conducted over 3 days at the Slottsskogsvågen Stadium in Gothenburg, Sweden. All right. 27, Parks College, US's oldest aviation school, opened. I wonder if they're still around. Parks College. Let's see here. Parks College Aviation School. Let's see. Parks College of Engineering, Aviation, and Technology. They're not around, but they ended recently in 2022. So 1927 to 2022, they almost made it to a century. Almost. But they just didn't get their wicket. That was some cricket humor right there. But that's pretty interesting. They were almost around for 100 years. That's cool. What do we got here in 1928?
1928, 16 die in New York City subway's second worst accident. Wow.
Yikes. And we're going to be talking about another New York City subway accident not too far from now, actually. Oh.
1928, Kellogg brained packed 60 nations agreed to condemn recourse to the war for the solution of international controversies.
So basically, on a worldwide stage, we are accepting politically, governmentally, globally, that recourse to war is a final act. If nothing else can yield any results, then you just gotta get down to your dukes. Unfortunately, we need that mentality again today. Like we are, today's world is so pro-war. It is astonishing, at least in the government. You know.
Yeah.
But that's what the government wants. They want war, so the citizens go and die, and less numbers make them easier to control.
They don't even ask anymore. They just go and do it. Start sending billions of dollars to some other fucking nation. No one even pointed out on a damn map.
Yeah, I know, right? So, anyway, what else do we have?
Yeah, 1932, 200,000 English textile workers strike.
Oh, wow.
Jesus.
Wow.
That's right.
That's a lot of people.
I have a whole hell of a lot of people, especially from 1932.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
1932, International Anti-War Congress opens in Amsterdam.
Ah. So that's just 4 years after this Kellogg-Briand Act. Oh, anti-war stuff. Yeah.
Is he like the Kellogg? Is the Kellogg guy related to him?
I was thinking that too. Like you're talking about Kellogg Post, the cereal, company and all that stuff. Kellogg Briand Act. Let me. Frank B. Kellogg. Let's see. He was a U.S. lawyer, politician, and statesman who served in the U.S. Senate and as a U.S. Secretary of State. I don't think he's related to the food company, but I would not be surprised if he was, because we all know how all these big companies have people in our government and all that whatnot. I mean, one example is like for a time, the head of the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, was a former head of Monsanto, which Monsanto, of course, is the inventor of Agent Orange that did atrocity things in Vietnam and everything, and they just they slightly changed the formula and rebranded that product as Roundup, and now that's causing all sorts of cancer and all sorts of things. That's very similar to the effects of Agent Orange. I wonder, so you do point a really good question, and I think this is going to have to merit like a lot deeper of a rabbit hole diving. They wouldn't want information like that to be on the surface level. So
yeah,
another challenge to our viewers is: was this guy, this Frank B. Kellogg, related to the Kellogg Company? What else do we got here? 1937, Brooklyn Dodger Fred Frankenhouse no-hit Cincinnati 5-0 in a 7 2/3 inning game. 7 2/3 inning. Like, why wouldn't they do the last third? Was it getting late? Did it get rained out? Like, that's weird. 37 as well. George E.T. Tyson set world auto speed record at 345.49 miles per hour. Let me repeat that. 1937, they're traveling on the ground at 345.5 miles an hour. How did they have that technology back then? But this is what I brought this up before. It obviously happened. Why are we so surprised? Looking back, why are we not so much more advanced? Like, why are we so technologically stunted in 2024, where something like 1937 going at 345.5 miles an hour is a big deal? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's real fucked.
Yeah.
It's almost like there's a conspiracy to hold us back because people make more money that way.
Yeah, almost like there's a conspiracy, huh?
Yeah.
You see my camera?
Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, 1938, New York Yankees pitcher Monte Pearson no-hit Cleveland Indians 13-0. Joe DiMaggio hit 3 triples. All right. We got a 38 and 2 39s for you.
Two New York City subway trains collide at 116th Street, killing 2 and injuring 51. Holy crap.
Damn. That's not good. And I was honestly wondering last night, like, how these two articles would play out. You know, I wasn't sure if, I was going to get one and you were going to get one, or you were going to get both, or me, but you ended up getting both, so my question was answered. 39.
1939, Erich Warsitz and Henkel He 178 made the first manned jet-propelled flight with a turbo engine designed by Hans von Ohain.
And if anybody wants to know what the Heinkel HE-178 looks like, that is the actual... oh, wait, that's not the picture I wanted. This one here. This jet. So this was the first manned jet-propelled flight on that aircraft. And that looks awesome. I mean, like, the wheels obviously retract into this, and, it is a pure bullet.
It does look cool. Nice and small and sleek.
Yeah. It looks very rough, too, like, it looks like a car that doesn't have a clear coat, for the paint.
Yeah.
What else do we have in 39?
In 1939, Nazi Germany demands Danzig and Polish corridor.
Yep. And they got it because at that time, Britain allowed it, and Britain was being run by, what was his name? Why can't I remember him? Hold on a second. 1939 UK PM. Neville Chamberlain, yeah. Run by Neville Chamberlain, and, very much like, Neville Chamberlain and Winston Churchill, the U.S.'s Neville Chamberlain is going to be replaced by our Winston Churchill. Biden versus Trump. 1940, Caproni Campini CC-2, an experimental jet plane made in flight in Milan. Now, what does this bird look like? Let me look this up here really quick. 1940? Oh, dude, I accidentally put in 1984. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
What does this aircraft look like? Okay, so it's like another jet. Wow, dude, look at that. That looks even weirder. Like, very small canopy.
Look down. Lake.
I think I might have seen this in person, and I've been to several air and space museums, and I might have seen one of these in person. Look at that nose, man.
Yeah.
What do we got here in 1941? World War II, British Royal Navy captured German U-boat U-570 on its maiden voyage. It was reflagged as the HMS Graf and used by the British for nearly 2 years. That is hilarious. On their maiden voyage, no less. But yeah, there's a lot of examples of vehicles, tanks, planes, automobiles, all that stuff being captured and repurposed by opposing forces. The Germans did use Shermans. The Russians did use Panzers. I'm not sure if we really reused anything as far as the Allies, because we already had our own thing, and we were a lot more prepared, not really prepared, but we were not prepared at all for the war. Our tanks were crap initially, but I don't recall any instances of Allied forces, being U.S., Britain, any other allies repurposing enemy vehicles to our own. But I wouldn't be surprised if there was. 1942, Cuba declared war on Germany, Japan, and Italy. So good job, Cuba. 42 as well, Soviet woman sniper Lyudmila Pavlyushkina arrived in Washington, D.C., the first Soviet citizen welcomed at the White House by Eleanor Roosevelt. Wow, the first Soviet. So I mean, let me hammer this into our viewers' heads. The first Soviet citizen, period. So like you're not even a diplomat or anything. The first normal person was a woman. Why don't we talk about that in women's history? You know,
Yeah.
that's groundbreaking right there. Uh, what do we got here in 44?
1944, 200 RAF Halifax bombers attack oil installations in Hamburg.
Ah, yep. I suddenly want a hamburger now. Oh.
Hmm. 1945, U.S. troops land in Japan after Japanese surrender. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? The gamer section of my brain, is annoying me. So I just got to get this off my chest. I'm thinking about Hamburg. Hamburg citizens would be called what? Hamburgians or something like that. Like, remember that Wolfenstein video game when he was trying to infiltrate the thing, and he was from Frankfurt. He's like, yeah, I am Frankfurter, like hot dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was great. What do we got here in 1948?
1948, 102 degrees Fahrenheit, highest temperature ever recorded in Cleveland in August.
Wow, that's hot. 1950, we have the first transmission of a TV program from continental Europe shown on the British Broadcasting Corporation company, whatever. And I have to say the actual name of the company now, because if I just say BBC, somebody will think I'm talking about something else, very very something else. 1950 as well, General Foods blacklisted Jean Moyer of the Aldrich family for alleged communist sympathies. I mean, like, I know the Loon would be against that, because of McCarthyism and all that stuff, but, with everything that's going on today, I kind of want McCarthyism back. 1952, having already won 5,000 meters and 10,000 meter gold medals, Czech star Emil Zatopek claimed rare Olympic treble, taking out Helsinki Games marathon in OR 2:23:03.2. Was that 2 days, 23 hours, 3 minutes, and 2 seconds? There's a lot of semicolons there. I don't know how to read that.
Yeah.
Oh. But hey, 1955, David Rush's favorite year. What do we got?
Guinness Book of World Records first published.
All right. We got another 55.
Sandy Koufax fans, 14 Reds. Both teams combined for a record 23 strikeouts.
So what does it mean again to fan something in baseball?
I don't know. It's more
All right,
a
let's
question
look it
for the
up.
Loon, I think.
Yeah, no, like we spoke about that a while ago. I know that for a fact. What does fanning mean in baseball? Because we had this conversation with him earlier, and a strikeout. Okay, so he struck out 14 Reds. Woo! Wow. Nice.
1956, Kurt Robert of Columbus International League hits 4 home runs in 7-inning game.
Nice.
In 1956, Kurt Robert of Columbus. Oh wait,
You literally just read that yourself.
just read that. I'm sorry. 1957, Hickory Smoke wins Hambletonian Stakes.
Now, when I first saw that, I was like, was that a guy or is this a thing? Is this a cooking championship? But we're going to have another article that's going to answer your question. So, instead of answering it right now, I'm going to let everybody wonder and think until they realize in the same amount of time that it took me to realize. So, what else do we have in 57?
1957, the Constitution of Malaysia becomes into force.
All right. Good stuff. And we have 258s if you'd like to take them.
1958, Clark Griffith says senators will probably accept offer to move to Minnesota.
Did they? The Minnesota Senators? Or... I'm not sure.
I don't know.
That's something the Loon would know. No.
And then in 1958, USSR launches Sputnik 3 with 2 dogs aboard. Oh, poor
Yeah.
puppies.
Well, I think they might have come back alive. I'm not sure because I know
Hmm.
Lakiada or whatever the name was of the first animal in space or the first dog in space did not make it, but they didn't have any plans of retrieval. So, in 1960, Australian. Hold on a second. 1960, Australian swimmer John Devitt controversially won the 100-meter freestyle gold medal at the Rome Olympics, recorded same time 55.2 as silver medalist American Lance Lawson. Ah, look at that. 1961, Francis the Talking Mule was the mystery guest on What's My Line? So what is my line? Hee-haw? You know? And
Hey.
since it's a mule, it's part donkey. So what's my line? Vote Kamala? Like, I don't know. 1962, Mariner 2 was launched, first probe to fly by Venus. All right.
Hmm.
1964, Mary Poppins musical film, or Walt Disney's musical film Mary Poppins, directed by Robert Stevens, starring Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke, with songs by Richard and Robert Sherman, premiered at Grauman's Chinese Theater in Los Angeles, California, later to win 5 Academy Awards. Good movie. And yeah, something really. Sorry, go ahead.
Good movie.
Yeah, something really interesting though is, and I think I have a video for our meme show that we're going to be doing sometime starting up this week. That's going to explain this again. But the word supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. The actress initially could not say that actual word, so that's why the second phrase of that song, I don't know the exact lyrics, but something sounds quite atrocious.
Yeah.
They added that in specifically because of her hard time saying the word. So because of that, they extended the lyrics. That's a little cool tidbit of thing, interesting.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. What do we have in 1965?
The Beatles spent an evening with Elvis Presley at his Las Vegas, Angeles, California home.
Las Vegas, Angeles? Where is
Yes,
that?
Las Vegas, Angeles. I
Las
don't know.
Vegas, Angeles. We need to make a new city that combines LA with LV, So we have Sin City, and then now it's on the beach, Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. The British, 1966, British sailor Francis Crick began his first solo sail around the world, leaving Plymouth aboard the Gypsy Moth 4. Completes his travels a year later in May.
In May of 1967, yeah. And it wasn't just his first solo trial, it was the first solo sail. So this was the first ever. So, can you imagine sailing across the globe by yourself? That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, not insane, but crazy. Sorry, I got to use proper words. Uno Mas, 66.
1966, Oakland pitcher Paul Lindblad begins a 385 consecutive errorless streak.
Wow.
Wow.
That's as close to perfection as you can get, man. 1967, Naomi Sims became the first black model on the U.S. cover, Fashion of the Times. All right. 365 days later, we have the protest of the Dairy Housing Action Commission, the DHAC, at the Guildhall's Council Chamber, after which MN Mielau phoned the North Ireland Civil Rights Association, NICRA, to organize a march in Derry. So this is, stuff leading up to the Troubles, Irish independence. I want a free Ireland, free Scotland, free Tibet, 1969, Lindsay's Pride won Hamilton Stakes. Okay, so it's a horse race. So here we go. So the Hamiltonian Stakes is a horse race. So that's why we have Hickory Smokes, and then now Lindy's Pride. The name made it obvious to me. You know how they like naming their horses weird things.
Yeah.
1969 as well. Mike Proctor hit 6 consecutive sixes across 2 overs.
Yeah.
So that's some cricket history for you. Moving on up to 1970, Jimi Hendrix created his last studio recording at Electric Lady Studios in New York City, an instrumental called Slow Blues. I got to listen to this here. Hold on a second. Jimi Hendrix Slow Blues. Jimmy. Let's see. I'm definitely going to want to listen to the whole thing later on. Would this be in public domain, though? I'm not sure. Well, let's see here. I was, I'm already 23 seconds in, so I'm trying not to break copyright if there is one. But I was just talking about this is Jimi Hendrix created his last studio recording at Electric Lady Studios in New York City, an instrumental called Slow Blues, and that's what we're listening to right here. This gets me in the mood to do some Devil's Lettuce here. So. 1972, what do we got here, good sir?
Operation Lion's Den. U.S. Navy bombards Haiphong Harbor, North Vietnam from the sea, firing over 7,000 rounds in 33 minutes.
I think you added a 0.
I said 700.
You said 1,000.
Whoops.
Oh well.
No.
Yeah. Still 700. Is nothing to sneeze at. In a slightly over half hour. That's a lot of munitions. And that's missiles, right? Like they bombarded it. So not missiles, but I guess from cannons, because I believe the USS Iowa. That is the Loon and I actually visited it a couple of years ago. I made a video on it actually. I believe it served in not only in World War II, obviously, but in the Korean conflict and the Vietnam conflict, because they had a whole map of every voyage and all the sorties and everything it took. Sorties is not the right word; that's aircraft, but whatever the naval term is. And I do believe, if memory serves, it maybe that was one of the ships doing this bombardment. And here we go, another 72.
The Grateful Dead holds a benefit concert in Springland Creamery, a yogurt company owned by writer Ken Kinsey's brother, at the Renaissance Fairgrounds in Veneta, Oregon.
Ooh. So the Grateful Dead holding a benefit concert for a yogurt company. That is a weird combination. If they try to do something like that today, somebody crazy will go online and be like, "Oh my God, eating yogurt will kill you!" Conspiracy. 1974, New York Met Benny Ayala hit a home run in his first at bat. That's not common.
No.
75, Veronica and Colin Scargill of England completed a tandem bicycle ride, a record 18,020 miles around the world. Well, how did they get across the oceans? They get on one of those ocean bikes? Did they get on a SpongeBob bicycle?
Come up here.
1977, the army shot on market vendor women in Conakry, Guinea. Well, that's not nice. What the hell are they doing shooting at vendor women? That's weird. What the hell? 77 as well, Toby Har and Bump Wills, what a name, Bump, hit back-to-back inside the park homers off Yankee Ken Clay at Yankee Stadium. Rangers won 8-2. All right. Good Sir King, 78 till 80. Well, yes, you have 2 78s and 79s. All yours. I gotta stand up. Your mic's off.
Shit. Alright, 1978, MLB Cincinnati Reds Joe Morgan is first to hit 200 runs and had 500 stolen bases.
Wow.
That's a lot of bases.
Every time I see this guy, he looks like Jordan Peele. Like, a little bit. Like, he kind of has, like, the round face, the way his hair is, like... I don't know. What else do we got?
Okay. MLB New York Yankee pitcher Catfish Hunter's 6-2 win gives him a perfect 6-0 record of the month of August.
Nice. Oh,
Catfish,
this guy. We spoke about this guy, I think, yesterday.
His name is Catfish Hunter?
No. This other guy, the one coming up.
No, but the previous guy.
Catfish Hunter? No, I don't think I've ever spoken about him. I'm talking about Mountbatten here, like the one in the next article. I was making a transition.
In 1979, first Earl Mountbatten of Burma, cousin of Queen Elizabeth II and last Viceroy of India, is killed along with 3 companions, 2 of them children, by the IRA when his boat is blown up near Sligo, Ireland.
Yeah, the troubles. Wow. Like, this is what happens, when you oppress people. Doesn't matter if they're brown, black, white, yellow, purple, turquoise, red, periwinkle. People are people. And as soon as you start oppressing them, they're going to fight back. And really interesting that we've spoken about this guy, twice. Well, like once yesterday and once, today. What else do we got here in 79? Ooh, more, I even put in hashtag Free Ireland down here. Okay.
1979, Warren Point ambush. 18 British Army soldiers killed when the Provisional IRA explode 2 roadside bombs as a British convoy passes near water castle.
Wow. Yeah, hashtag Free Ireland. All of it. 1981, is my music still going? Yes, it is, but I'm going to rewind it all the way to here. 1981, divers began to recover a safe found aboard the sunken Italian liner Andrea Doria. I wonder what they discovered. I'm going to do a surface level scratch of that article here really quick. There we go. Okay, deep sea divers. So this is an article from the New York Times here. So divers searching the murky Atlantic for the treasure of the Andrea Doria, the Italian luxury liner that sank 25 years ago, according to this article, today found one of the 2 safes believed to contain more than $1 million in jewels and valuables. So now we know why they went down there. There's and each safe, so we have multiple millions of dollars down there. 1982, Ricky Henderson stole 119th base of season, breaks Lou Brock's mark. Yeah, this guy over here, the not bad face. So, yeah. 83, Haiti adopted their constitution. All right. And over the past couple of days, I've been reminded about just how awesome Haiti really is. Its history is fascinating. 84, what do we got here?
84, U.S. President Ronald Reagan announces teacher in space. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
you know exactly where that's going. So that is the Challenger disaster.
Yeah, has to be.
That is a tragedy right there. What else do we have?
1984, War Against Indiscipline is launched by the Buhari regime in Nigeria.
War Against Indiscipline. Wow. Cool. And how well is that working for him?
Yeah, right.
I presume, the same way the war on drugs has been going, like all that stuff out here.
Yep.
1985, General Ibrahim Babangida overthrew Major General Muhammadu Buhari's regime in Nigeria. And we spoke about this guy. I think that was when he got. We spoke about him yesterday. Him getting elected or becoming the president of Nigeria. I think you even made a comment yesterday saying, "Oh, hey, look, actual news." So
Yeah, right.
but yeah, he was overthrown by this guy, and that is an atrocious action. But this guy goes on to make some things. We will be talking about this Ibrahim Babangida again later on in today's episode. 1986, protests erupted in Soweto, South Africa against evictions carried out after an 11-week rent boycott. Huh. Alright, that's an article that needs some digging that we don't have time for, so if anybody wants to look into that, let us know what you find in the comment section. What do we got here in 88?
Dodger Tommy Lasorda wins 1,000th game as manager tops Philadelphia 4-2.
All right.
1889, 100 march through Bensonhurst, protecting racial killings.
Protesting.
Protesting
racial killings. What?
Protesting racial killings.
Yeah, I don't normally, correct you, but this time I had to.
Yeah.
Wow. What else?
1990, No Fences, second audio album by Garth Brooks. Don't care.
Okay.
Yeah, 1990, 52 Americans arrive in Turkey from Iraq.
That's interesting. I wonder why that's documented. I'm going to look that up here really quick. Gulf War. Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, they're evacuated. Okay, now I understand. Okay.
Can't you just mention it was a war? Because?
Well, yeah, yesterday I had forgotten. I so much stuff is going on up in here, I can't, stay grounded. So, but evacuated. Gulf War. All right. 1990. Market prices plunged as OPEC nears informal agreement to increase output to cover shortfall due to invasion. The war we were just talking about. Cash market trading experiences an abrupt decline. So that's good, right? I don't know. When prices go down, that's a good thing. But I guess when prices go down from the suppliers, it's a bad thing. I don't know. 1991, Moldavia declared independence from the Soviet Union. All right. And as I said earlier, here we go. 1991, Nigerian President Ibrahim Babangida created 9 states: Abia, Enugu, Delta, Jigawa, Kebbi, Osun, Kogi, Taraba, and Yobe. So, as I said, I'm not sure if that's good or bad, but he created states. How he got into power was a bad thing, but what he did with his power might be potentially good. So, but one of these states, Jigawa. What the hell is a gigawatt?
What the hell is a gigawatt?
Great Scott! What do we got here in 92?
CFL revokes BC Lions franchise.
All right. What is a CFL?
What is CFL?
Football league? Like the Continental Football League? CFL. Let me look this up here really quick. Canadian Football League. Okay. Well, now I'm wondering, is it actual hand egg football or is it soccer football? Yeah. Let me just look up images here really quick. CFL. Okay, so it is hand egg football. All right. Moving on up. What else do we got here? Oh, this is something else. Okay. Go for it, sir.
Where are we at? 95?
93, Rainbow Bridge. I saw a rainbow and I thought we were going to be talking about the Rainbow Warrior again, but this is something entirely different.
The Rainbow Bridge connecting Tokyo, Shibara, and the island of Odaiba is completed.
All right, I wonder why it's called the Rainbow Bridge. Yeah. I wonder why it's called the Rainbow Bridge. I mean, there's a whole thing to read here. What is this? There is a bridge connecting heaven and earth. It is called the Rainbow Bridge.
This is going to be a prayer or some shit.
That's the Norse
Some
thing. Yeah. Oh well.
informationals.
What else do
Garbage.
we have?
1993, Yak 40 crashes in Tajikistan, killing 79 people with one survivor.
Yeah, I know that breaks my rule of 100 or more, deaths to be covered. But I mean, this is Survivor's Guild. One survivor, and we're going to have another, Survivor's Guild scenario here later on. Actually, not too far from now. So, but what else do we got here?
Worst fire in New York in 80 years ends after 4 days.
All right. Well, I want to know, what were the deaths, if there were any? How much damage? What was the cost? What was the spread? The Happy Land fire. That's not a good name for a fire. like, killed 87 people. Wait, no, this is March 25. 1990. This is something entirely different. And I even searched specifically for 1995. It's telling me about something that happened in 90. So, but what the hell? List of disasters in New York City by death toll. Okay. Okay, let me get the year. I don't want death toll. I want the year. Okay, so let's see here. This was 95. So let's 1970, 80. Here we go. Okay, we have two of these. We have Freddy's Fashion Mart attack and Williamsburg Bridge subway collision. Okay, so that's a rail. This is December 8th. Okay, so that's the wrong one. June 5th. So, what the hell? It's not even listed on here. So what fire is this? It's not even on Wikipedia. It did. Can someone out there please look into this? Because this is a major discrepancy right here. Moving on up into the year 2000.
540 metric, 1,772 feet tall Ostakino Tower in Moscow catches fire, and 3 people are killed.
Yikes. Well, let's see if I can find an image of this here really quick. Oh, okay, so this tower. Wow. That's a picture of it on fire. That's terrifying. How do you go and put that out? I mean, it looks like, they have a helicopter there with a bucket, so I guess they just drop it. But, that is way up there, so there's no way to get up there with ladders. That's scary. That's really scary. 2001, Angelina Jolie was named a UNHCR Goodwill Ambassador at UNHCR headquarters in Geneva. Okay. Weird. 2003, Mars made its closest approach to Earth in nearly 60,000 years, passing 34,646,418 miles, or the equivalent of 55,758,005 kilometers distance. All right. 2004, Australia won its first ever Olympic men's field hockey gold medal with a 2-1 win AET against the Netherlands in Athens. All right. And that's, Olympics right there. 2004 as well, China's first ever gold in the Olympic Games men's track and field. Liu Zhang won 110-meter hurdles in Athens, equaling Colin Jackson's 1993 world record time of 12.91 seconds. All right. Hero. Oh, we're going to be getting to Hero here in a minute. That's 2004 as well. But we have 4 2004s if you want to take them. So starting with German. Actually, no, Craig. Sorry, Craig.
Craig Kilborn's final appearance as host of the late night show on CBS after 1,190 episodes.
Yeah, 1,190 episodes. That's a lot of episodes. I think we're approaching that with the history show, actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
2004, German kayaker Brigitte Fischer wins gold in K4 500 meter and silver in K2 500 meters in Athens. First woman in any sport to win gold medals at 6 Olympics. Gold 24 years apart, and first person to win 2 or more medals in 5 different games.
Holy Cataloni, bro. Yeah,
Wow.
I have to spam cheer for this lady. Like, wow. Anyone who says that women can't do incredible feats of athletic performance, show them this article and tell them to shut the hell up. You know? Actually, no, two more 2004s.
Hong Kong martial arts film hero starring martial artist Jet Li opens in the U.S. and becomes the first Chinese language film to go #1 at the box office.
Hell yeah,
Awesome.
U.S. box office. So,
Yeah,
hell yeah.
great movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
A lot
So,
of his movies are really good.
yeah, I've heard, and he died tragically, right? Like he's the one who was it Jet Li? No, it was his son, the Crow, right?
No, you're thinking of Bruce Lee and his son
Oh,
Brandon Lee.
okay. I got my Lees confused. So, and Uno Mas 2004, if you want to take it.
In a huge upset at the men's basketball semifinal at the Athens Olympics, Argentina beats the star-studded but unsettled U.S. team 89-81. They go on to take gold and U.S. bronze.
All right. 2006, Comair Flight 5191 crashed on takeoff from Bluegrass Airport in Lexington, Kentucky, bound for Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport in Atlanta, Georgia, killing 49 of 50 on board. That's what I said. The Survivors Guilt's article is right here. 2008, here we go. U.S. Senator Barack Hussein Obama became the first mixed race to be dominated by a major political party for president of the United States by the Democratic Party. Let's not forget he is half white. His blackness ends at skin deep. He's half white. He's half black. He's mixed race. He's not the first black anything. He's the first half black, but yeah. So
Clinton was the first black president.
what?
I said Clinton was the first black president.
Ha 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 ha! Oh, I kind of remember. Is it because he played saxophone or something, right? What was the stereotype, or do we not talk about that?
Played the sax. He was a ladies man.
Oh well, plenty of people are ladies, but not a black.
Got around.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, moving on up to 2011, Australia claimed final Tri-Nations Rugby Series with 25-20 win over New Zealand in Brisbane. Argentina's Pumas joined competition the following year. Series rebranded the Rugby Championship. So it went from Tri-Nations Rugby Series to the Rugby Championship. That, makes more sense. Flows off the tongue a lot better. 2012, Thrift Shop. It was only 99 cents. Single was released by Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, later received the Billboard Song of the Year 2013 Grammy Award for the Best Rap Performance, Best Rap Song of 2014, 2 years after its actual release. That's a good song, Thrift Shop, Macklemore, yeah. I haven't heard anything about him, in years. Is he still alive? Like, does he still do stuff?
I think so.
Yeah, he's still alive. But I haven't heard anything about him. Like, nothing bad, nothing good, which is good. He's staying under the radar in today's insane times. But like a lot of his songs, like Thrift Shop and One Love and all that stuff, good songs. 2012 as well, the first interplanetary human voice recording was broadcasted from the Mars rover Curiosity. What? Let me reread that. First interplanetary human voice recording was broadcast from the Mars rover Curiosity. So, yeah, we're here on the internet on Earth broadcasting, and that's going into space, but this is the first time an audio recording of a human voice was played extraterrestrially on Mars, specifically. That is wild to think that the human voice has made a sound on Mars. That is awesome. So, 2013, what do we got?
Dove Cameron releases a cover of On Top of the World by Imagine Dragons.
I've heard that song. I'm on top of the world. Oh, that's a good song.
The Shepherd's Crown by Terry Pratchett, published by Doubleday, 5 months after the author's death, the last book in the Discworld series.
Yeah, that is a shame, you know. But like this reminds me about the author of the book, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Yeah,
Shortly after, if I remember my history correctly, shortly after he finished that book, I'm not even sure if it was published and out yet or something. He died. He had an idea for the entire series because he had like a lot more. He had like an entire series, planned. But I believe in his will, he instructed his family, which they obliged and they did it, to destroy everything else. Like, anything outside of the first book, wipe it clean, because he didn't want other people taking his work and just damning it, as, happens, in numerous
yeah.
times. So that's another tragedy right there, in the world of books and whatnot. But
Oh
we got
yeah.
another 2015 here.
Greek President Prokopis Pavlopoulos names top Supreme Court Judge Vasiliki Thano caretaker Prime Minister, Greece's first female Prime Minister.
Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Huh. And all the crazy people out there can't blame her for the economy because Greece has been in like a shithole economy for a long time before that. So I'm not sure if she's done anything to help, but you know, still pretty cool. First female. Woo. All right. What do we got in 2017? Former five-weight world boxing champion Floyd Mayweather Jr. defeated MMA fighter Conor McGregor in his debut match in the 10th round in Las Vegas. Whatever happened to Conor McGregor? I haven't heard anything about him either in a while. Like, is he still... Like, did he ever
He's
announce that
still
he was
up and
going to run
about.
for Ireland or whatever?
He's up. He's up and about. I think.
Ah. Is he
I don't
still
know
in
if he still
MMA?
fights. I don't know.
Huh. I mean, I never paid attention to any of that, so I don't know if he's retired or what, but... 2018, former Spice Girl Mel B announced she is entering rehab for alcohol and sex addiction following her acrimonious divorce. Yeah, so that only got in there because Spice Girls, they were a big thing for a while. 2018, let's see here. Reigning French Open tennis champion Simona Halep became the first top-seeded woman to lose in first round of the U.S. Open. Lost to Kaya Kanepi 6-2, 6-4. First match at a newly renovated Louis Armstrong Stadium. All right. And also in 2018, the United Nations released a report saying Myanmar military leaders should face genocide and crimes against humanity charges for violence against Rohingya. Okay. What do we got in 2019?
2019. At least 25 people killed in a fire at bar deliberately lit by gang members in Costa Cosas, Mexico.
So cartel activity happening.
Yeah.
I think I remember this. Like, I'm not sure if I remember this from the news or from reporting on it afterwards, one of the shows. I mean, it's been 6 years. No, 5 years, sorry. But yeah. Another 2019.
Race car driver Jesse Combs dies while setting a new fastest women's land speed record of 522.783 miles per hour. The Elva Desert, Oregon. Awarded in 2020.
Yeah. Posthumously, which means after she was dead. So she was already dead, but now they're giving her an award after, the fact. So.
I hate that shit.
Yeah, well, hey, better late than never, Like, it sucks that they weren't around to receive it, but at least their ghost, their spirit, whatever, might know, I don't know. Got the 3 2020s.
The Australian terrorist Bretton Tarrant sentenced to death without parole for killing 51 mosque worshippers in Christchurch in New Zealand. First time the country imposes the sentence.
Sentenced to life without parole.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Which is essentially like, just a long, like a lengthened out death sentence, paid for by the taxpayers, of course. Hmm.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. We got to bring back the death penalty. Not just us, but the whole world. Like it has a purpose. If somebody throws their life away, why the hell is it on the common citizens to pay for their, their food, their housing, their shelter? If they're damned, then just send them to God. Screw it. What else do we got here?
Australian terrorist
We got
Brenton Tarrant.
Hurricane.
Wait, that's Hurricane 2020. Hurricane Laura makes landfall in Louisiana near the Texas border as a Category 4 storm with 150 miles per hour winds, killing at least 16 people.
Yikes. 2020 as well, Mike Pence accepted nomination for vice president at the Republican convention, calling for, quote, law and order, end quote, after the shooting of Jacob Blake. Like why, like so many people like are so pitted against each other and everything. Like this guy, he wants justice, and what do the people on the wrong side of history do? They crap all over him. Now I'm not defending him in any way. I'm not a supporter of either side, but people have just got to stop with the hate. 2021, Britain's Prince Andrew served with a U.S. federal lawsuit alleging he sexually abused a teenager 20 years ago. Yikes! Well, that's very yikes right there. And why don't you take this last one? I didn't realize we were coming up so fast.
2023 gymnast Simone Biles, 26, wins her record 8th U.S. championship in San Jose, California. Damn.
I know where that is. That's just south of San Francisco. Where Silicon Valley is, where the Winchester Mystery House is. It's in San Jose. But that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar of the description for any links you may be interested in, from history sources, collected links to all things Omni Coalition, and more. For your dose of Past Events Daily, we stream every day at 11 in the morning Pacific Time, or try to. 12 noon Mountain, 1 Central, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. We do have other shows, from history to news, movie reactions and reviews, and also Omni Kitchen and our meme show, and that might actually split into 2 or 3 shows in itself. Check the underbar. We have a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes once again. So for all of you and all of us, I'm Xander,
King's Refuge.
and you are you, good viewer. And thank you very much for watching. And until you catch us next time, whenever that is, wherever that is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!